All I'm going to say is I'm glad they have a defib machine right by the bench.
What are those last couple minutes of a game like that like? I mean, you've not been in that situation, I guess, not in the NHL at least.
Well, it was actually, other than probably the last 5 minutes, I thought it was, getting a little bit hairy, intense, and guys were, cutting their shifts off short, and you're just making sure you have the right number of guys on the ice, and you knew that they're coming back with their top guys, over and over again. So we just tried to extend our bench a little bit to try to handle them. Those guys, the Perrys and Getzloffs are playing 27 minutes a night, and that we don't really have a forward that does that, but I think we did a real good job just keeping our composure and staying in the moment, and it was a solid effort by everybody.
Jordan, once again, just a game changer for you guys. Just how has he kind of developed and since he's been back?
I'll tell you that the Smiths and 2-2 Spalling line. I mean, I have no reservations playing them against anybody, and they were a difference maker in the last couple of games. I mean, not only did they give us energy, but they gave us some big goals. And Jordan made a couple of great plays. Nick Spalling is not known for scoring a lot of goals, but we're scoring big goals. And this series sort of symbolized how the Predators play in a lot of ways. Leg One's line got a couple of goals, and they're playing lots against Getzlaf. And Fisher's line, got us some goals, and the Smithson's line got us goals. Jeffrey's line got us goals. I mean, that's sort of what we do. That's our DNA. And to win this series, we needed everybody, and everybody contributed. And I thought tonight when the first couple goals, I think probably most people expect maybe Pecs to save them. I thought when the game was on the line, Pecorine was Pecorine. And great goaltenders, when they don't have maybe a great series, they find ways to make the big save. And every game that we won, there was a big save that he made. Game 1, Game 3, and Game 5. And then obviously today, he made some big saves in the third when they were buzzing around. So that's why I think he's one of the best in the league.
Sometimes we give Shea Weber a hard time for being so deadpan with all of his answers.
Mm-hmm.
With that leadership style, though, was that effective going into an environment today where it would have been easy to lose your composure out there with everything on the line and the electricity?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've learned to have composure. I sort of chuckle every time I pull up the read all the notes and today was the biggest game in franchise history. Well, if we don't win one of those games in our last 20, we don't even make the playoffs. So they've all been big games. So I sort of chuckle at that, but at the same time, it was a big game. And if we wouldn't have won the game, the next one would be the bigger one. And the guys actually were pretty composed. I think in the first period they were a little bit nervous because there's a little bit of internal pressure that us, hey, we got these guys, and we talked about just staying resilient, just making sure that we do a real good job. And really in the first period, I thought we did a pretty good job. We only had 4 shots, they missed the net a few times, but we kept them to the outside and really didn't let them get too excited. But when they scored the first goal, the whole series, that first goal has meant so much. We just battled back. We got it tied up, and then we went ahead, and then we gave up a little bit momentum goal at the end of the second period. But we came out, and I really, what I saw on the replays and all that, I really thought that was a legal goal in Hornquist. But it's a mute point now. But we just kept throwing pucks to the net, and in 3 of the games that we won previous to this, we had thrown 70 pucks or attempted to throw 70 pucks at the net, and create a lot of confusion. And we scored more goals in the series than we ever have, and we've given up more than we've ever had. So it was a totally different animal that we had to slay, if you will.
The Spawn goal did come just a couple of minutes after the disallowed goal. Is that kind of important to get that out of your heads and everything, just kind of move on?
Yeah, we were thinking, momentum-wise, they got that, that one call, or they got it tied up. And then you get one called off, and I was wondering how we would respond, but we were okay. And that just shows us that as a group, I think we're maturing every time we're in a situation. And you know, as I said, there's a new first every game. So that was a first for us, how we would handle that in a game 6, and we handled it just fine.
This is a two-part question for you, Barry.
Okay.
First of all, are you happy?
Yeah, I am. I'm happy and relieved, both. Number one, I'm happy because of the resiliency and the group that worked so hard all year. And I'm relieved because there is a little bit of a cloud that, you know, we wanted to get to the next level. And if we never got there in this series, I think that would be a little bit of a carryover. But that's why a little bit relieved, because I think this franchise and the fans need it. And I think our players need it. And the young group that had to answer all the questions, there wasn't that many guys that have been involved in all these series. So I was relieved in the fact that, you know, hey, we don't have to, you know, sit and be, for lack of a better, pissed off all summer. And now, you know, we're making history. We're a young franchise that is trying to go deep, and our ownership made as I said to some of our owners when they came by, we don't even get in the playoffs if the commitment of not getting Mike Fisher in this deal into the city and on our team. And you know, a lot of people say, you know, we have to do it a different way. We do, but it's about winning for us. It's not about you know salary caps or anything. It's about winning, getting the players here to win. And you can see what a great environment. Guys love to play here. The city's a fantastic city, and we got a great fan base. So those are the things that we're trying to build.
The second part of my question was,
Oh, yeah, I'm keeping it long, okay.
is there a sense, I mean, you having been here the whole time, David having been here the whole time, does it mean more with what you guys have gone through to get to this point right now?
It does. I mean, you know, I've been with David a long time, and we've shared some great disappointments. You know, you watch the NHL Network, and they show that like 6 overtime game or whatever, 6-period game, and I was part of that. I was on the scouting staff at that time, and we've gone through some hard times together. And I want, you know, it's as fulfilling for me as it is getting a series victory in Nashville here and moving forward, because it's. Tell you what, the first round is the hardest round to get through. It always is, and it's just because everything's ramped up, and just the vitality of the fans. The series is really hard. Not that the next series is not going to be hard. That first one mentally is harder to get through, and you find out, hey, come to work, you let it go. Come to work, let it go, and you just move forward. So. You know, looking forward to seeing who we take on next.
Barry, the tactics in this one got a little dicey at times. Satisfaction seeing your team battle past and through it.
Yeah, I mean, Anaheim is a really talented team. They're a physical team. That's part of their DNA, and we have to battle through that. I mean, the one thing we're going into this series, you know, I thought they had a big advantage on the power play. Just the personnel that they have, and you know, they've been together for a couple of years, and the chemistry that they have, and they've clicked at a very high rate all year, and we sort of just plodded along. We, for the most part, stayed with them. I think that was their 6th 5-on-4 goal today, and the other 2 were 5-on-3s, which are totally different. But I thought for the most of the series, our power play was able to stay with them a little bit, but our 5-on-5 play was much better, and I thought. You know, if we were going to lose the series, it was going to be because of discipline and that. And our penalty killing has been strong all year, and they took a little criticism from everybody, but even me. But we just have to stop it. And tonight, when the game was on the line, they got it done, and that's the most important thing. It's like the big save, and they got it done tonight.
Barry, Shane O'Brien, no penalties tonight. I think it was the first game of the series. How many meetings have you had with him? And, you know,
Quite a bit. I mean, I plain and simple, I said to Shane, and this is a stat going into this game, I said to Shane, you know, the power play is huge for them. And they scored on only we were able to stop 11 of 13 power plays when he was killing them. We only stopped 2 of 7 when he was in the box. And I said, you're gonna be the guy, we're either gonna win or lose the series, and it might fall on your shoulders. And I need you to buy in, and I need you to do that, and he did. And that was maturity on his part, but it was also caring, because he's one of the best team guys. The Anaheim guys will tell you that he's one of the best team guys. Sometimes he's not the most disciplined guy, but he's one of the best team guys, and they love him in there. And he didn't want to let any of his teammates down, and he adjusted as the series went on. And I thought, because they know all the inside stuff on him. They grew up with him. They were know to push his buttons, and he had to back off. And I thought he did a really good job.
So much emphasis on winning the first round. What about the transition to going to the next 3?
Well, the transition is we're going to have a day off tomorrow. We're going to exhale, and then we're going to get back to work and try to figure out who our next opponent's going to be. And hey, Joe. And that's really what we have to do. Is that it's no different than to win the other night. We have to let that win go and just worry about what's in front of us. And I think our guys did a good job of that.
Barry, you rarely talk about yourself, but talk about your journey here and what it's taken and how frustrating it was for you personally, for this team to come up short in the first.
Well, a lot of times, for me personally, it was frustrating. I think in the past we've had some opponents that we didn't, quite frankly, match up really well, but we gave them a real hard run, but we didn't have that difference maker. We didn't have the belief yet. And a couple times, like I know in the San Jose series, they were physically just stronger than us. And what I liked about this series is this was probably the closest to those San Jose teams. They were big and nasty, and they got lots of depth, and they had to let that in their DNA, and they had some difference makers up front, and we didn't back off. And I knew no matter what happened in this series, win or lose, we were better prepared to go forward than ever before. And in the past, when we had San Jose, I thought we were light, we were small, we didn't have a lot of the things that the intangibles that you need to take a run at things, and we've had some bad luck. I mean, we've gone into series. I mean, I remember one series, Ramsey Abid was on my first line. You're asking who Ramsey Abid is, right? Well, he was a minor league player. It happened in this series. I mean, Matt Halischuk had to get elevated to the top line, and we had some guys that were in the, coming back from injuries, and Steve Sullivan scored 2 huge goals. JP Dumont's just been an absolute pro and was a big part of the tying goal the other night. I mean, guys had to forget about any egos and just play. And I thought that was another thing that we've done very well.
Getzlaf and Perry stayed off the score sheet in the last 2 games. How much of a product was that staying out of the box, or did Weber and Suter just do a better job defensively?
No, most of their points came on special teams. If you were to look at it, the line that gave us fits was really the Koivu line. That's the one that I thought, and not that Perry and Getzlaf, they elevated their game, but Suits and Webbs and whoever line was out there against them did a really good job. They're going to get chances. They're going to score some goals. They're just too good. I mean, collectively, we might be the best line in hockey, and we just contained them enough. But they were really, obviously, you get them on the power play, they're going to make some fantastic plays, and they did. And they almost got the series just on the power play alone.
Okay, thank you. There'll be more.